You need to have high self-belief and believe in your ability to achieve something externally, known as self-efficacy. You have to build it over time. You have to have an accurate map of yourself, others, and the world. And then you have to have enough self-worth to say no to all of the junk that is just bad for you. Persons, places, things, and ideas.
If you're an entrepreneur who's built success but feels stuck in the grind, this podcast is for you. On the Live More Show, we give you short, powerful conversations to help you become more tech-savvy, time-rich, and totally free. Here's your host, Melanie Sikma.
Research from Harvard shows that high achievers are more likely to experience burnout and dissatisfaction, not because they're failing, but because they're misaligned. If you've checked all the boxes of success but still feel like something's missing, this episode is for you. I'm excited to introduce Alan Lazaros, founder and CEO of Next Level University, a top 100 podcast and seven-figure business helping people optimize their lives across health, wealth, and love. After a near-fatal car accident at 26, Alan realized that external success without internal fulfillment isn't the win that we think it is. Today, he leads a global team, has over 1 million listens in 180 plus countries, and helps high performers reach their next level without burning out or losing themselves. So today we're going to talk about what it really means to live more, holistically, intentionally, and sustainably. I'm excited to introduce to you Alan. Now, you followed the traditional path to success and still felt unfulfilled. What does living more mean to you right now?
First of all, thank you for having me.
Yeah.
I really appreciate it. I don't take that lightly. I think speaking into other people's lives is so important because whatever you let in your brain is dictating your future. So thank you.
Thanks for being here.
You're welcome. You're welcome. So the living more, what does living more mean to me? Health, wealth, and love. I want to be healthier, wealthier, and more in love over time. And I think that's the simplest I can make it. And I think I've reoriented my entire life around the word meaning, because when you do achieve a lot of success that you at one point was a dream, sometimes it can feel empty. And if you do it right and you stay around meaningful work, like you talked about some of your nonprofit work in Africa, like meaning, I think, is what matters most, because shiny objects and nice cars and stuff like that are great. That's all fine. But I think it has to be deeper than that. That's my opinion, particularly when it comes to fulfillment.
Have you always been somebody that has been intentional in their life, or did that come after your accident, or what shifted you to that?
Yeah, so I've reflected on this a lot. I do think I was always kind of an existentialist, and an existentialist is a fancy word for someone who questions their existence. Like, why are we here? What is the deal with this whole economy thing? Like, philosophy, all this stuff. So I think overall I was on the high end of the statistical bell curve on existentialist, particularly because my childhood was so challenging, which we can get into if you want. However, we're all on autopilot to an extent. And I think we get off autopilot, hopefully, as we grow. And so at 26, I got in a car crash that was basically my quarter life crisis. That was 11 years ago. I'm 37 now. And that was my complete 180 of, okay, corporate isn't the answer for me. And I'm partying too much and too often. I'm not taking care of my health. I have too many friends. I spread myself way too thin. High school friends, college friends, corporate friends. I had a huge thriving social life. And for people who don't, I think that can look really great on the surface, but it was definitely not ideal for me. And so I was on autopilot in that regard. And then I got off autopilot. I promised myself after that car accident, because my dad, my birth father, John McCorkle, he died in 1991 in a car accident when he was 28. And so I was 26 at the time. 11
Yeah,
years
it's
ago.
wild.
Right. And so this was the second chance he never got. So I made a promise to myself, because I had a lot of regret. And I did well, so I don't want to make it seem like I was some burnout or something. But I didn't put it all on the court. I wasn't reaching my full potential. That's my truth. And a lot of other people were impressed and, oh my God, you did it, American dream, all that. Like, the truth is I was resting on talent. I didn't even have to try that hard. I got straight A's in high school, and yeah, I tried harder than the average bear, but certain things came very naturally to me. So anyone who feels gifted, they kind of know what I'm talking about. Things come very easy to you. You tend to win at most things, and you don't really have to try that hard. But how dare we not give our all in this life? And so that's what I was doing, and I regretted it. And I promised myself that day 11 years ago, I was putting it all on the court, baby. All on the court. Not burning out, yeah, still playing the long game, but you better believe I'm putting it all on the court. Effort is never going to be the issue again. And I'm going to start taking care of my health, wealth, and love and living around meaning. So that was a promise I made to myself 11 years ago, that I would reach my full potential and help others do the same. And I'm still on that same mission.
What is your full potential?
A fictitious part of my imagination that I'll never reach. No. So if you study game theory, I'm kind of a nerd, so bear with me on this. So in game theory, there's finite games and infinite games. Mm-hmm. And a finite game is like chess, right? There's one game. So a finite game is playing one game of chess, you and me, Melanie. An infinite game is becoming the best chess master you can become. You never actually arrive. It's a mountain that gets higher as you climb it. So my full potential, I don't know yet, but I do have a vision for it. And doing all you can with all you have. I had a client once, her name's Pauline. And she had no arms and no legs. She was born with no arms and no legs. She's an amazing podcaster. She has a thing called One Leg Up Productions.
I love that.
Right? She's the best. She's awesome. And I remember thinking to myself, she drives, she swims. Unbelievable. So inspiring. And I told her, I said, I hope you know that I don't mean this patronizingly. But like, the fact that you make no excuses inspires the hell out of me. I just see excuses all around me all the time. It's really hard for me, and in myself too. Mm-hmm. So I think my team, my clients, they would say I'm pretty hard on them, but that's because I believe in them. And I think the more you believe in someone, the more you want to challenge them to reach their full potential. So what is my true potential? What is my full potential? We're going to find out.
Yeah. Now, you mentioned vision. You said you have a long-term vision. You said you and your girlfriend are very future thought, like you put yourself in the future and plan ahead. Mm-hmm. Now, how often do you revisit that?
So we have weekly check-ins that we do. So we have 5 things we're tracking right now. We have something we call the we metrics. The we is the name of our company that we have together. And the we is a metaphor for, we have a logo with a pyramid, and it's 2 pyramids within it. So it's the me's create the we, the whole is greater than the sum of its parts type of thing. Mm-hmm. And the 5 metrics we track every week is, number 1 is sleep. Number 2 is fitness. Number 3 is finance. Number 4 is mental health, which I have to talk to her about because I don't feel like I struggle a ton with my mental health, but she also probably thinks that I do more than I really realize. And then of course, right? I probably should keep it on there. And then the 5th one is flow.
Okay.
Have you ever studied flow at all?
Like getting in the workflow or getting into flow? Yeah,
the
flow
zone.
state?
Yeah.
Flow
state. Yep,
I love the zone.
So we do green, yellow, red on each of those every single week.
Okay.
And then the long-term roadmap, weekly, monthly, quarterly, yearly, and then we plan out the decades. So we have a lot to achieve, and we're both achievers, which I'm grateful for, because in the past I dated people that weren't, and it was always kind of that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, if you are, you have to have somebody that is.
Got to.
Yeah.
Or someone who wants to be with an achiever who knows the downside of it.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. If somebody is married to somebody that they're an achiever, but their spouse is not, what would your advice to them be?
We see this all the time. We call it ambition in conflict. Mm-hmm. The advice would be sit them down and talk vulnerable, courageous conversation. So we call it the triad of transformation: humility, courage, and vulnerability. So similar to how fire can't be created without heat, oxygen, and fuel, you can't transform without humility, courage, and vulnerability. As a matter of fact, my car accident humbled the hell out of me. So that was why I transformed so much after that car accident. So a lot of times you either stay humble or get humbled. So I got humbled. But to answer that question, ambition in conflict, we're actually doing an event on this next month. And essentially what you have to do there is sit the partner down and talk to them about, like, is this really the life you want to sign up for? My business partner, Kevin, his wife, Taryn, he has very big goals. He and I have huge goals. Mm-hmm. And she doesn't. And that's okay. However, he used to say to me, well, she didn't sign up for this. And I've told him this, so if he were to hear this, we'd be fine. And same with his wife, Taryn. I love you both. I do. But Kevin said she didn't sign up for this. I said, yes, she did, dude. She signed up for Kevin Paul Mary, and this is who you are. She signed up for everything that has to do with who you are. Yes, I'm intense. The truth is, if you are with an achiever, you better contemplate the alternative and go with some Joe Schmo or Jane Smith if you want. But there's pros and cons to everything. And I realized this in the past. I used to be a fitness model, fitness competitor, fitness coach. And I realized I was with someone at the time where I realized, like, you want to be with a fitness model who's in great shape, but you don't want me in the gym at 5 a.m. You can't have both. There's trade-offs in life. And I think real grown-ups realize that there's sacrifices that need to be made. And I think I spent too many years tiptoeing around that.
So just being honest about the reality and then having an honest conversation about it.
Yeah, and I talked to Kevin. I said to him, I said, brother, if you don't want to climb this mountain with me, Next Level University, the company, all that, I totally get it. Not everyone wants to work every day, right? I get it. But if you do, you need to understand what's going to come with that, because I have to do this. This is in me. I have to do this with or without you, brother. I hope it's with you, but I will do it regardless. And so if you don't feel that same way and you don't want this and everything that comes with it, you got to tell me now. And I think he has to have that same conversation with his wife, which he did. And that's why everything's working really well now and we're more successful now, because we had to overcome some of those early, like, playing not to lose versus playing to win conversations.
It's making sure that the vision, you guys are both on the same boat. Otherwise, you're just going to be this and it's not, going apart. So that's important.
100%.
Yeah, very good. Now, I want to go back to when you said that everything on the outside looked right before your accident. How did you know, like, did you ever feel like something was off before your accident? Did you feel frustrated? Did you feel misaligned? And then how would you tie that to our listener who they're really trapped in their business? They don't know how to get out. How do they know if they're misaligned or if it's just they need to pull themselves out to free them up to do the things that they love? Like, what are those tools there?
So I always say the whisper eventually will become a scream. And I had whispers for sure. Your intuition telling you, hey, this is not the life you're meant to live. Hey, you're not happy. Hey, leave her. I'm kidding. But ultimately, that's the truth, is like, it takes tremendous courage to trust your intuition and to go a different path and carve your own path. And I had did the traditional path, as you mentioned. No. Preschool, kindergarten, elementary school, middle school, high school, college, corporate.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the traditional American path. I know you told me a lot of your listeners are Americans, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's the traditional path in a lot of places. There's 195 countries on planet Earth. There's 8 billion people on the planet. And a lot of these countries have that same traditional road, right? Something similar. And so I did the traditional path and I did it very well. And I was very successful in corporate. So I was fortunate enough to be a top 1% earner in my early 20s. And earner globally, not 1% US globally.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's very different. But anyway,
Yeah.
So the point is money was not a problem. I didn't have kids. I didn't have a mortgage. I had low expenses because I grew up broke. So
that's why you had a fun social life.
Yeah, exactly. Money was not a problem. And I had way more than so I just invested it all. But anyways, the original question is, like, did I know? Yeah. I called it my F-off phase.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to figure out what this carefree wandering nonsense was about. Because ever since I was a kid, I was always goal-oriented and I was always very conscientious. And don't get me wrong, I partied too much, but I was definitely driven and future-oriented. The future always mattered more than the past. And I grew up really rough. So when the past is painful and the present is painful, you kind of go into the future to escape and you're like, okay, one day this won't be so terrible. And so goals and dreams were my jam. That was like my savior. And I now realize how weird that is at 37, looking back, coaching people from all over the world. So if you are future oriented, you probably don't like effing off, for lack of better phrasing. I feel like there's that quote by J.R.R. Tolkien, not all those who wander are lost. Here's my truth. Most people are.
Mm-hmm.
The people who are wandering around and drifting around lost, they're making it look fun. They're making it look awesome. Their Instagram accounts look great. But the truth is they are lost. Most of them are lost. And I've coached 12,000 hours plus of coaching, training, and podcasting with people all over the world. Everyone, every walk of life you can think of. Olympic athletes, millionaires, 1 billionaire, people at the very beginning, people making 30 grand a year, and people making millions every year. What I can tell you is the majority of people are lost. They're drifting around and they don't have goals and they don't know their purpose and they don't know their calling and they don't know their passion. They don't know who they are or what they're here for. That is the truth statistically.
Yeah.
You can look this up. Only 94% of people don't have goals. Only 4%, 6% max actually achieve their goals and have goals. New Year's resolutions, you can look at the stats on that too.
Isn't it like 90-something% drop off before the second week of January?
91.
91?
Latest
Okay.
research, 91%.
Wow.
9% achieve them. Which is, and it's January 16th right now, so we're already seeing this in my gym. The point that I'm making, though, is yes, I knew. And yes, I was miserable. And here's the hard part. And this is the admittance time. Internally, I was unhappy behind the scenes. But if you looked from the outside, I made it look awesome.
Yeah.
I was dating a beautiful girl. I had, high school friends and college friends and corporate friends. I was invited to every barbecue, every party. I was making tons of money. The truth is I was miserable because I wasn't reaching my full potential. And I think a lot of people who are unhappy end up trying to put on a show to be perceived as happy. I think it takes a lot of courage to admit that you're unhappy and to admit that you're lost, but that's the first step.
Yeah.
So my car accident for me was boom, oh my goodness, I am lost. I'm totally lost. I don't know who I am. I don't know if I'm proud of the man I've become. If that was it, what would I feel about it? And so I had to reinvent myself from that day until now. And now you see me 11 years later and successful and all this stuff, and that's great. But it was nothing but a horrible, atrocious, challenging climb from 11 years ago to now, where at one point I had to puff my chest up walking in and out of doorways because after that car accident, I had claustrophobia issues. And now you see, the 11 years later, which is possible, the transformation is possible. But I think that anytime you think life is going to be easy, I think you're just setting yourself up for massive failure. And I don't expect the future to be easy, but I'm going to find a way to make it bright.
I love that. Yeah. And I mean, you had to step into the unknown where that can be scary for a lot of people. You didn't know the 11-year version of yourself. You knew the 26-year-old version. And so that can be scary when you are so used to this one thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I would say I had a vision, though. Have you ever seen that meme with the little kitten staring into the pool?
Yeah.
I always had a vision for what I would look like, feel like, be like. So I didn't know for sure, but I always had that strong vision. I still do. Like, I'm 37 now. I can picture myself at 47, 57, 67. And maybe that's called a projection.
Yeah.
And some people can't do that with their prefrontal cortex.
Huh.
They say that they put people in fMRI machines and some people could only imagine a stranger. I actually do this with my clients. I say, okay, close your eyes. See yourself a week from now. Yeah. 2 weeks. Okay, month. Okay, 3 months. Okay, year. It's like, ooh, got blurry. So some of us can project really far into the future.
Yeah.
And some people can't. It's a skill you have to develop.
Interesting. I think I'm naturally like that. I always think about on my deathbed, what do I want to be proud of the life that I lived?
Mm-hmm.
And I actually make a lot of decisions around that because it terrifies me to have a moment where I regret my life.
Same. So, Melanie, I'm going to go out on a whim and say you've struggled with many friendships.
I'm very good at like the making friends, but yeah,
Keeping
like having
them.
a deep relationship with somebody, I can't connect with a lot of people because I'm just not like your average person.
Yeah, I think in life, I'll share this with everybody. I've coached hundreds of people, if not thousands, over the years, 11 years ago. And what I've found is that you either are really good at success and struggle in relationships, or you're really good at relationships and struggle with self-discipline and success. So on one side, it's IQ, structure, discipline, organization, prudence, conscientiousness, diligence, work ethic. On this other side, it's fun, warm, EQ, loving, respectful, kind, present. This one's future, this one's present. The truth is you need to be ready and lefty, but we're all ready or lefty. And so it's obvious that you were good at success, not as good at relationships with all the love. And that was the same for me. Most of our pain came from relationships, having to outgrow people or being abandoned. And most things we feel pretty successful at for the most part. Other people are the opposite. Actually, I think the majority of the population feels like they get along pretty easily with people, but they struggle with success and discipline. So just know that everyone struggles. It's just not with the same thing.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. And then I think it's really empowering to find out what you're naturally good at, and maybe what's going to be more of a struggle, because then you can always grow.
Yeah.
So I love that. What you talk about next level university, can you explain what that does and how that might help our listener pull themselves out and maybe just find more alignment in their life?
So I used to, so 11 years ago, I started a company called Lazaros LLC, what you'll never learn in school, but desperately need to know. Because I didn't understand why we didn't learn finance or fitness. It's like, what the hell? I didn't take my first finance course till grad school. What is that about? Right? You use money every day, you move your body every day, you eat food every day, and we weren't taught a lot about that. Courage, humility, vulnerability. Where were those classes? Communication, relationships, vulnerability, setting goals, mindset. None of it was taught. And so to answer your question, I used to want everybody to come and be a part of Next Level University. I don't do that anymore because I realized over time through massive pain and failure that that's a terrible idea. So I think everyone needs to figure out they're absolutely people and they're absolutely not people. So I have two absolutely not people. And if this is you, please do not reach out under any circumstance. The first one is spoiled brats, people who want huge rewards for minimal effort, people who have a birthday week or a birthday month. I grew up rough and I earned everything, and I'm not interested in anyone who thinks they deserve by default. The second one is bullies. If you put other people down to feel bigger and better about yourself, I'm not interested either. The right side of the coin, if this is you, 10 out of 10, you're going to love me, you're going to love Kev, you're going to love everything we do at Next Level University. If you have high inward humility, meaning what you don't know is limitless and what you do know is limited, and you own that. Number two, you have high work ethic. Nothing works unless you do. Nothing works unless you do. I don't know where we lost that. 4-hour work week is crap. Tim Ferriss worked 60 hours a week for decades before he was successful. It's a marketing title. So, and I do think it's a dishonest title, quite frankly, Tim. Okay, so work ethic, critical. Work smart, not hard. No, you usually don't work hard or work smart until after you beat your head against the wall a bit. Okay, I know some of the most successful people in the world, and they all worked hard for decades, all of them.
Yeah.
Unless it was generational wealth, in which case that's a whole nother story. Self-improvement is the third one. So humility, work ethic, and self-improvement orientation. So you have a growth mindset, you have high humility and work ethic, you are absolutely going to love everything we do. We have a global community now, and it's all about 1% improvement every day. Start small and build, and like achieve your goals and dreams. There's really nothing else that we do at this point.
That's awesome. Yeah. It's good to know who is your best fit person, because they'll get the most out of your services, right? So that's very good that you have that. Absolutely. I like that. Very good.
Took me a long time to get that.
And you're right. Like, I think sometimes because you said working smart, not hard. I think sometimes working smart is working hard in that season of your life. Like sometimes that is something I've had to realize. Like, 'cause I saw my dad growing up. He was a successful businessman and he was able to go skiing all the time, go to all our soccer. He never missed anything from us. I was very fortunate to have that as an example. But I thought going into business, oh, I can just do that automatically. But then I realized, okay, it's a lot harder than you think it's going to be. And it's going to take a lot longer than you think it's going to. So now before I do anything, I just go into it knowing this is going to be harder and longer than I ever imagine it. And that's just the reality, but I'm willing to do it.
That is a excellent level setting of expectations, because we have this formula for failure that we teach. We have a group coaching program we've done for 21 quarters in a row now. So 5 years now. Yeah. But anyways, so the reason I'm saying that, we teach this and that, and we teach, it's called the Next Level Podcast Accelerator. We teach the triad of, if you want to fail in life, you have to go in with the wrong expectations, you have to go in with the wrong approach, and you have to go in with the wrong time perspective. So if you think you're going to get in shape with 6 minutes a day and it's going to be easy and you're going to have an 8-pack and you can still drink alcohol, you're going to fail automatically. I was with someone this weekend, and forgive me for this because I used to compete and I'm all about hard work, obviously. And I want to share this paradox for a second. The fact that I thought work smart, not hard is off is actually why it's probably good for me. Because I've found a lot of people who love work smart, not hard. I've actually found them to be on the lazier side. Or in a different stage of their business, like you talked about with your dad. He was probably really, 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 really grinding for a decade at least prior to that. right? And then you
and he would get up actually at 4 or 3:30 in the morning, and I didn't realize that. So
okay, you need both. Work smart, work hard, you need both. But I realized this paradox. If I don't like that saying, that probably means I probably need that saying. And the people who love that saying probably should need the opposite because the pendulum swings. But what was I saying before that about wrong time perspective? No, wrong expectations, wrong approach, wrong time perspective. And so if you think something's going to be easy and you go into it thinking it's going to be easy, you're going to get devastated by the reality of everything at the professional level is like atrociously difficult. Even for people who are gifted, like you're competing with 8 billion other people on this planet, 6 billion of them are online. Like if you don't take it seriously, you're in serious trouble. I do feel like a lot of people are lackadaisical. I know I'm intense, but you can put all, people say, oh, it'll all work out. No, it won't. You can put all your effort in. You can work hard your whole life and still not achieve your dream. You're definitely not going to achieve your dream if you're lackadaisical about it. You don't take it seriously. Now, I know I'm on the far end of this because I'm probably overswinging from some of this everybody gets a trophy thing. But at the end of the day, I see too many people fail because the world is consistently making it look easier than it really is.
Do you watch the Hermosis at all?
Alex a little bit, but no, not really.
Layla, I love Layla's stuff because I relate to her a lot, but she talks about, she's just very honest and raw about the difficulties of business. And so I feel like so many people online don't give a realistic view of what it's going to be like. But I feel like she does a very good job of that. And so do you find though that like, because you're so intense, do you find that you have a hard time enjoying the present? Because you said you're so futuristic. Do you have a hard time just enjoying the present where you're going to be in the future and you didn't really ever enjoy where you're at? Do you ever struggle with that?
I appreciate this. And I've asked that question to myself a lot of times because most of my life I've had people say, well, you should chill out and you work too hard and you should, and for any achiever, you get that all the time. It's like, why can't you just relax? To be completely honest, look at the people's lives who are saying that to you. Are they healthy, wealthy, and in love? Are they living their dreams and goals? Are they flourishing and reaching their full potential? No. So we all have a certain wiring. Some people are Michael Phelps, Serena Williams, Tom Brady, Kobe Bryant, Michael Jordan, and they want to be the best in the world at what they do. And if that's you, then gear up for a life of not being present and being focused on getting better every second of every day. If that's not you, then you can balance it. So past, present, future. Learn from the past, build in the present, work toward a bigger, better, brighter future. All of us have a certain orientation. Mine is obviously future first. Yours is too. I can tell, otherwise you'd hate me. Okay, so... But at the end of the day, I would say that I regret when I didn't put it all on the court more than I regret not being present. So for me personally, I'm reverse engineering regret like you are. I'm going to the end of my life, and legacy is one of my most important core values because I saw the impact my father had in 28 years on this planet, and he died. And I saw the impact that had, both positive and negative. And so for me, I'm all in on this life, and I'm playing to reach my full potential. And so I had to decide and accept what comes with that. And yes, that does mean sometimes I'm going to be frustrated. I think the achiever's emotion is frustration. Frustration is an emotional signal saying something or someone is in the way of my goal. People are like, well, I want to be in great shape and be wealthy and financially free, but I don't want any frustration. Okay, good luck. I would love to see that. Achievement equals frustration, but you can take that frustration, turn it into fascination and into transformation by learning about yourself, others, and the world. And so, yes, I do think there have been times where I've struggled to be present. However, I do think I regret not being more goal-oriented, not the other way around.
Yeah, that makes sense. I would agree with you that anytime if I look back and reflect on a chunk of my life, if I was just being lackadaisical is when I do have more regret than if I was pushing hard. And sometimes that can mean, like if you're a parent, it can mean pushing hard in your parenting journey, like being present in your parenting journey. That could be like looking back at how do you want your relationship with your kids to be? Part of that is being present. So then it's kind of mixed together.
Well said, Melanie. Well said.
Now, what would you say? You've worked with a lot of people, like a lot of high achievers. What's usually the bottleneck? Like what's a common bottleneck from preventing them from reaching their next potential?
A lack of personal responsibility. Okay. I'll give you two, and I'm so grateful for the question. When you coach, and every coaching session is an hour long, so these are deep with individuals, right? This isn't a group. This is individuals. And I call it my magic number, 6,765 hours of one-on-one coaching, where it's just me and them. People from all over the world, all different backgrounds, all different cultures, all different sexes, all different ethnicities, all different circumstances. The two biggest bottlenecks I see, number one, I'll give you three. The first one's self-belief, pure self-efficacy. They just don't believe in themselves, subconsciously and unconsciously. You might think you believe in yourself, but if you've never really believed in yourself, the record playing, I'm not good enough, I'm not smart enough, it's not going to happen for you, you're not the best, you suck. Like, if that's your record playing, it doesn't matter what this says. That's the subconscious and unconscious. You have to really work on that and rework.
How do you change that?
Okay, so the first thing I would say is get around people who have high self-efficacy, and then there's a formula to build it. Self-efficacy is the fancy word for self-belief. I am alarmed at how, okay, so you mentioned Alex and Leela. They have very high self-efficacy, very high. They don't wake up in the morning doubting themselves. Like, neither do I, and neither do you, by the way. That's why no one likes you. I'm kidding. Right? But the truth is we don't. Like, I'm playful, we're laughing, that's why you laugh, but like, I like very rarely, people always ask me, like, how did you know you could do it? And it's like,
I just did it.
There are podcasters out there that are successful, right?
Yeah.
I have an identity where it's like, well, I know I'll work harder and longer and smarter than everyone else, so I'm going to do it. And it's called state, prove, self-assign. You state you're going to do something, you prove to yourself you can do it, and then you self-assign it once you do. And if you do that long enough, especially when you're a kid. So do you have multiple children?
2.
Okay. One of them has higher self-efficacy. You could name it easily. Go ahead.
Yep. I'm not going to say her name. I don't want to make them feel bad.
Okay. Yeah. The point is this is a thing. And the people that you think are cocky might just believe in themselves more. Some of them actually are cocky, and some of them are delusional, and some of them are fake, and they're puffer fish. The people that are beasts behind the scenes when no one's watching, those people have high self-efficacy. So that's number one, is self-belief and self-efficacy, and you can build it with that formula. State a level 1 goal, achieve it, self-assign it, then state a level 2 goal, achieve it, self-assign it, then level 3, achieve it, self-assign it, and then you build self-efficacy, and eventually your identity becomes, I am capable. But usually that identity sinks in real deep between 5 and 14, and it's very hard to override. You can do it, but it's very hard. It's a lot of repetition. So your dad obviously helped you believe in yourself.
Oh, I thought I was I thought I was the bee's knees. He always sucked me up.
No wonder why you went into business thinking it'd just be easy, right?
Oh yeah.
But that's the truth, is like when we were kids, we had someone helping us, like, you can do it, you got this, and setting goals. And here's the problem that I'll share with everybody. If you don't have self-belief, you won't set goals. But if you don't set goals in advance, you won't build self-belief. Now you're stuck.
So it's a cycle.
It's a conundrum. Now you stumble upon success, don't know whether it was you or not, and then like you have inflated or deflated self-worth depending on it. It's this whole thing. But the other two that I think are almost equally important. One of them is the mental map. Have you, Melanie, ever been in a self-driving car yet?
No.
Okay.
I've seen people get stuck in circles.
That's the reaction I get all the time. It is weird at first. So I have a Model Y, and it drives for you, and you're in supervisor mode. It's called FSD, full supervising mode, full self-driving. So it drove me to the gym today. So you get in the car, you click the button, because it already is auto to the gym, and it literally pulls out of the garage, I kid you not, and it drives me to the gym.
That's
By the way, I'm a computer engineer. These are safer than human beings.
I actually believe it.
They just are. And again, the whole world will eventually be self-driving. I know people hate me for saying that. I'm a futurist and a technology guy.
Yeah.
It's going to happen whether you like it or not.
I'm just letting them get the kinks out on other people.
Sounds good. When's the line of demarcation on that one, Melanie?
I don't know. Maybe a couple of years. Technology grows fast.
Yes, it does. But my point here is it has a mental map.
Yeah.
So the car has 9 cameras in it. 3 in the front, 1 in the car, 1 in each front door, 1 in each back door, 1 in the back. If one of the cameras is occluded, it doesn't let you do full self-driving mode, as it shouldn't. So if there's like mud over one of the cameras, it won't let you. And it shouldn't, because it can't see. It's a blind spot.
Yeah.
best metaphor of all time for human beings. A self-driving car needs 3 things. Accurate current location, self-awareness. That was my big issue. I didn't understand how different I was.
Yeah.
Accurate destination, actually a goal, clear, measurable goal that's accurate and achievable. It can't be the top of Everest. The thing can't get there, right? Okay. And then the third one, and this is the really important one, accurate and updated maps. So you and I think, are similar ages. Are you in your 30s?
I'm 36. Yeah.
36. Okay, I'm 37. So you remember MapQuest?
Yes, I remember MapQuest.
Awful. I get lost all the time. So if the Tesla thinks it's a road and it's actually a cliff, it's going to keep driving off a cliff repeatedly and then blaming the world or blaming the government or blaming other people. Here's the truth. All of us come into this world, and you can think of your children, however old they are, with a pristine mental map. We don't have any data. No data of self, no data of others, no data of the world. Most people don't even know there's 195 countries, 8 billion people on planet Earth. It's been 8 billion for a year and a half. Everyone still says 7. But you got to look it up, right? So your mental map is off. I know I'm intense, but the idea here is your mental map is off. That's why you don't achieve your goals. Not just you, all of us. Every one of us has blind spots. I've spent the last 37 years identifying where I was off. Where am I inaccurate about myself? Where am I inaccurate about others? Where am I inaccurate about the world? You know how you usually figure that out? Failure. You usually figure out where you're inaccurate. I'm going to host a live event. I'm going to have 50 people come. Oh my God, only 24 came. Why? Because we did this, this, and this off. So the people who win in life are the people with the most accurate mental map who believe in themselves most. And then the third one, which to piggyback on this, is self-worth. This is self-esteem. This is your belief in your own value, not just on the soul level or emotional level, but like in the marketplace. If you believe you're worthless, you will attract the wrong people and you'll tolerate horrible people. And so I had high self-belief and low self-worth. I think Good Will Hunting was a good metaphor for my life in some ways. And he surrounds himself with people that maybe don't have his best interests at heart or maybe aren't what's best for him. They can't challenge him intellectually. He has low self-worth. And that's why when have you seen Good Will Hunting?
No, I haven't, actually. I've heard it's great.
He has low self-worth, even though he believes in himself a ton and he's super smart. So to me, those are the 3. It's like you need to have high self-belief and believe in your ability to achieve something externally, known as self-efficacy. You have to build it over time. You have to have an accurate map of yourself, others, and the world. And then you have to have enough self-worth to say no to all of the junk that is just bad for you. Persons, places, things, and ideas.
Mm-hmm. I think being aware too of like your strengths and be like the accurate, like that's the key there, because some people, let's say you want to be a famous singer, but you suck at singing. You got to kind of know, no matter how much coaching you get, you're not going to be famous, right? Unless you use AI. So I think that's great to have just an accurate picture of reality, but striving to be more.
It's a great example, Melanie. In the past, I would have still clapped and been like, "You got this," And now I realize that's setting someone up for massive pain later. Yeah. You and I have become the bearer of bad news, I bet.
So, Kevin, do you ever watch Shark Tank? Mr. Wonderful, he always says, "Take it behind the barn and shoot it." I just did you a big favor.
Dude, at the end of the day, that's self-awareness. You got to know your strengths and weaknesses. And one little caveat, every strength comes with a weakness. Confidence is a strength. Arrogance is the weakness. Humility is a strength, but timidity is the weakness. You have to understand the weakness that comes with every strength. And you have to surround yourself with people who have similar core values, but complementary skill sets.
Well, Alan, thank you so much for coming on today and just sharing a bit of your story, reminding us that success is about a lot more than just making money. It's about doing more, being more, becoming aligned. And if you're listening right now and you want to grow in health, wealth, and love, check out nextleveluniverse.com. From free resources to coaching, masterclasses, there's something there to help you reach your next level. And don't stop here. Next episode's going to be packed with more conversations designed to help you live more. If you enjoyed today's episode, we'd ask that you leave a quick and honest review to help more business owners find the show.